Here to weigh in is Vivek Ramaswamy, Ohio gubernatorial candidate. Vivek, have you ever met Gavin Newsom?
I have, actually. Met him a few times.
What did you think?
Look, I think at the end of the day, he's a classic limousine liberal. We had a good conversation a few times we've met. He's in a tough position. He's a straight white man in a party that doesn't like straight white men. I mean, that's historically what their base has made clear about who they actually want to nominate or what attributes they value. So he goes back and forth between being a radical who has to push back against Donald Trump on one day, using profanity, using social media, over-the-top behavior, and on the other, trying to behave like a moderate. And so he needs to figure out who he wants to be as a Democratic presidential candidate when he grows up. For our part, Laura, the real answer is that as long as we're focusing on who we are and what we stand for, I don't think he stands a chance. Neither does anybody else in the Democratic Party. But it's up to us to make sure we're not distracted by their antics, which are frankly comical and humorous at times. It's not ultimately going to be what matters in the end.
Yeah, it hasn't really worked for the Republicans to just harp on how left-wing the Democrats are, right? That hasn't really worked. I mean, you know, we won the 7th district special election in Virginia by 9 points, but the Republicans have to put forward a positive, clear agenda and also be optimistic about the future. It can't just be Trump talking up the economy. The Republicans have to both do that and, don't you believe, push more policy that will advance this agenda and not just coast on Trump.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Defeating the left, we already did that in November of 2024, thanks to Donald Trump's victory. Now we got to focus on what do we actually stand for. And I think especially even states, even local elections and state elections have a lot of solutions headed into 2026. You want to bring down those electric bills, produce more energy in this country. It's the laws of supply and demand. You want to bring down the cost of housing, especially in cities. You got to release that red tape to be able to build more actual homes. You want to combat inflation, the government should stop spending so much money and put more money in people's pockets. These are tangible solutions combined with combating this educational achievement crisis that we're in. Years of woke left indoctrination, Laura, that has consequences. And that's a big part of why you see failing academic standards right now. We got to offer a vision for how we're putting money in people's pockets, how we're educating children to give them the world-class education that I believe is the birthright of every American. That's what we're running to. So I don't care about the antics on the other side. We've owned the libs. I don't care about owning the libs anymore. I care about owning responsibility for saving the country. And if we're focused on that, we're going to have the same results going forward as Donald Trump delivered in November of 2024.
Briefly, on the issue of AI and the displacement of workers, jobs going away or changing, are you worried about that?
Of course, I'm worried about it, but I'm also excited about the opportunities that could create if we do it the right way, Laura. The reality is technology has always created changes in the opportunities available to our workforce. As this enhances productivity, I think it's going to create new jobs as well. It's up to us to create an education system that trains our young people, though, to be equipped to compete in the future. Not to be victimized by it, but equipped to compete. And as long as we make those changes in our education system, we're going to be a good place. And I'm an optimist in the long run.
Yeah, you are an optimist. That's infectious. Vivek, great to see you, as always. Happy holidays.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.